That's right, 7:30 every weekday. I'm hitting you up with all the sports news and information that you need to know. We started off with 64 teams. NCAA March Madness tonight comes down to a close, all right? We got Texas Tech taking on Virginia. Expected to be a tight, tough game, low scoring. Tips off at 9:20. It's going to be an interesting one. If you like basketball, don't expect a lot of
Who you
action
seeing tonight?
You know, I'm going to go with Virginia just because they have a little bit more experience. Texas Tech is kind of the team that I don't think anybody expected to be here. You know, if I had it my way, we'd be watching Duke in North Carolina. I'd love to see, you know, Zion out there, but that's not what we got right now. We got Texas Tech. They hit some big shots at the end of the game. Jarrett Culver, Matt Mooney, they were knocking down some threes. I wouldn't be surprised if they edged it. This is like the closest betting line for an NCAA championship game in the last 20 years.
All right.
So that's what we got there. Shout outs to the ladies. Can't forget ladies basketball as well. Last night, Baylor beat Notre Dame 82-81.
By 1 point.
1 point.
What a great game.
Missed free throws and accidentally made free throws. It was a wild one.
Wow.
And, you know, Baylor almost blew it, but they came back and won the game even with their best player out. So shout outs to the ladies. And speaking of the ladies, let's move over to the NBA for a second. Gabrielle Union, we know she's with Dwyane Wade. That's her husband. Dwyane Wade's career is basically going to be over in 2 games. This whole season has been a retirement tour for him.
Yeah.
And Paul Pierce, if you don't know Paul Pierce, he's one of the most legendary Celtics of all time. He had his jersey retired last season. He's a contemporary, basically, of Dwyane Wade, except for now he's on the television. And on ESPN on Friday afternoon, he was asked on set who had a better career, himself or Dwyane Wade. This is what Paul Pierce had to say.
That's easy. I can say that off the bat. That's me. 24 years old.
Okay.
You give me Shaq. When I'm 24, 25, you give me LeBron and Bosh. I'll be sitting on 5 or 6 championships. Easy.
So Paul Pierce basically sat on screen, on television, and said that he had a better career than Dwyane Wade.
Basically saying Dwyane Wade had the championships because he had
Shaq
and LeBron.
and LeBron James. And he's like, I don't know, maybe he conveniently forgot that at one point in time he played with Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen, the 2 dudes who are also like Hall of Fame caliber players. And when you look at the stats and the numbers, it's obvious Dwyane Wade is at the top.
So what did Gabrielle say?
Gabrielle Union basically went on Twitter and said this Paul Pierce thing is wrong on so many obvious levels. But what I find most troublesome is this idea of a man trying to diminish another man that looks like him, was raised like him, in order to shine a tad bit brighter. It isn't entertaining, and she didn't say, she put an expletive in there, it's sad. And she said, love and light good people. And she basically said, yo, Paul Pierce, just like, why are you trying to big up on my man's here when you were not that hot? Like, why can't we all be great? And I think that's what Paul Pierce, he could have just said, hey, I think I'm better without getting into a comparison. Like Dwyane Wade couldn't do anything in his entire career. He's a Hall of Famer himself. That's what it is. In other news,
even if you think it, you're not supposed to say it.
Yeah, just be humble about it. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar said it best. Be humble.
All right.
Terrell Owens, NFL great, Hall of Famer. He just went into the Hall of Fame. This is a reminder to everybody, if you have your things in any type of storage facility, go ahead and pay it. Because if you don't pay it, eventually they're going to put your things up for auction. And when you're an NFL Hall of Famer like Terrell Owens, you're not excluded. He had his stuff in storage right here in Atlanta. He had a custom bust of himself, like one of those Hall of Fame busts. He had old playbooks, autographed helmets, autographed cleats, but it's no longer in his possession because he didn't pay the bill. He said he couldn't find a way to pay the bill, and now Mr. James Rice of Jan's Used Furniture in Griffin, Georgia, is in possession of all Terrell Owens Hall of Fame goods.
Wow.
Pay your bills. It's really that simple. He did say he'd give it back to Terrell Owens. I just don't know under what circumstances. He didn't make that clear. He's probably going to want to check to get his stuff back.
Absolutely, man. How about that? All right.
That's how it rolls. I'm JR, and that's today's JR Sport Brief.